All right, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Mark, and I've got something today that's, oh man, it's just really getting my tech nerd heart racing. My inner cybersecurity geek is doing cartwheels, Jen.
And I'm Jenny, ready to have my mind expanded, as usual. Mark, you're practically vibrating with excitement. What cool tech are you geeking out over now? Is it quantum encryption, or maybe sentient toasters?
Chuckles. Not quite toasters, though that sounds like a fun episode. No, we're talking security. Specifically something called Non-Human Identities, or NHIs. Machines, APIs, services. Basically anything that isn't, a person logging in. And here's the kicker. They now represent over 80% of an enterprise's attack surface. Think about that for a second. 80%.
80%? Wow. That's a massive shift from what most people, I think, imagine when they picture cybersecurity threats. So even though they're everywhere, like in every line of code, in every microservice, I feel like NHIs have been this kind of invisible threat in cybersecurity for a while now. What's been the problem with securing them up until now? Why are they such digital ghosts?
Exactly. They are like digital ghosts. Traditional security tools just aren't built for them, They're designed for humans, for user accounts and passwords and MFA tokens. And that's where Entro Security comes in. They've just launched what they're calling the industry's first-gen AI engine specifically for NHI security and secret scanning.
An AI engine for NHIs? Okay, you've definitely piqued my interest. So, how does this Gen AI engine actually change things for these invisible threats? Are we talking about finding more needles in more haystacks? Just, faster?
Better than that, Jen. It's about context over chaos. Imagine a security alert that doesn't just say API key exposed. It tells you, in plain English, that it's a Slack bot token for the dev environment, used by the marketing team's internal comms app. It explains why ties it matters, its risk context, and even who owns it within the organization.
Whoa! So, no more cryptic, vague alerts that send SecOps teams down rabbit holes? Just natural language summaries, almost like it's telling you a story about the risk. That would be transformative for security teams, right? It sounds like it bridges the gap between raw, overwhelming data and actionable intelligence.
Oh, completely. It's not just finding risks, it's explaining them, which is a big deal. Think about how much time is wasted right now trying to figure out what a vague alert means. Or if it's even a real threat. This is a huge step towards combating alert fatigue, which, let's be honest, is the silent killer of SecOps morale. It's like getting a diagnosis that comes with a treatment plan, not just a list of symptoms.
Alert fatigue? Yeah, that's a massive problem. I mean, if you're drowning in false positives and endless notifications, you're inevitably going to miss the actual, critical threats when they pop up. Does Entro's engine specifically address that, like, beyond just giving more context?
That's another cool part, and it gets into numbers. They claim their Gen AI, by automatically classifying and applying reasoning, cuts noise by over 60%. 60%! Imagine your security team focusing on less than half the alerts they used to. Because the Gen AI has already identified the noise and essentially tagged it as Gen AIFP, Generative AI False Positive. It means they're chasing real fires, real vulnerabilities, not just digital ghosts.
60% reduction? That's really impressive. So the AI is essentially triaging at a level that humans just can't keep up with, allowing the human experts to focus on the high-value problems, the things that truly need their specialized attention. That makes so much sense. But speaking of AI and secrets, that always brings up a critical question, especially in security: privacy. What about all that sensitive data, those tokens and keys, being processed by an AI?
You're hitting on my favorite point here, Jenny. This is where Entro truly stands out, because it's a big differentiator. Unlike a lot of other Gen AI solutions that might send your sensitive data to a massive, cloud-based LLM for processing, Entro's engine runs on a self-hosted, private LLM stack. What that means for privacy and compliance, in industries like, say, healthcare or finance where data sovereignty is paramount, is just massive. It's a game changer for trust.
So your secrets, your sensitive NHI data, never leave your company's network? Like truly air-gapped private LLM processing? That's huge for GDPR, HIPAA, and any other data sovereignty requirements. No cloud exposure, no third-party risk of OpenAI or Google seeing your sensitive keys. That's a significant ethical and practical advantage people often overlook when talking about AI in security, isn't it?
Exactly. No privacy versus efficacy trade-off. It's a smart move. And speaking of compliance, another persistent problem in security has always been ownership. You find a leaked key or a rogue bot, but then who's responsible for fixing it? It's often a mad scramble, a frantic, "Who owns this thing?" drill.
The old ownership gap. I know it well. Who owns this random GitHub token from 3 years ago? It's a common finger-pointing scenario post-breach. Does this Gen AI solve that?
It does, and it streamlines that process beautifully. Entro's engine automatically links every exposed secret and NHI to a human steward. It's not just, "This key is exposed." It's, "This key belongs to Bob, who manages the Kafka cluster team, and this specific part of the code." It streamlines the entire remediation process by assigning accountability instantly.
That's fantastic. It closes the loop. From discovery and context to assigning responsibility and remediation, all powered by AI. It really feels like this is more than just a scanning tool. It's almost transformed into an active governance system for machine identities. Thinking about it, could reliance on AI-driven security tools like this lead to overdependence, though, reducing that human vigilance you mentioned earlier, Mark?
That's a fair point, Jen, and it's a question a lot of folks ask. While AI certainly enhances detection and triage, the goal isn't to replace human analysts, but to empower them. It's about letting the AI handle the grunt work of sifting through massive amounts of data, so the human experts can focus on the truly complex, strategic threats. Think of it like a smart co-pilot. They still need a skilled pilot at the controls for those tricky landings. Human oversight remains crucial, because AI models, no matter how good, can still miss novel attack vectors or produce false positives. It's about balanced integration.
Right, so it's not lights-out security operations, it's about making the human operators more efficient and effective, giving them superpowers, essentially. What about the potential for other negative consequences? Could processing sensitive NHI data through even self-hosted private LLMs still pose privacy or compliance risks? Like, deep down within the system itself?
Another insightful question, and it's something every CISO thinks about. While Entro's self-hosted approach vastly reduces external risks, you're right, no system is perfectly impervious. Internal misconfigurations, insider threats, or even undiscovered vulnerabilities times within the LLM stack itself could pose risks. However, the private hosting model significantly lowers the attack surface compared to publicly exposed cloud-based LLMs. It shifts the risk from, "Who else's cloud is seeing my data?" to, "How robust is my team's internal security posture?" It means organizations need to be vigilant about securing their internal environment, which they should be doing anyway.
That makes sense. It's about moving the control back into the organization's hands, which is preferable for many. One statistic that always stands out in this conversation is that over 80% of the attack surface being NHIs. Does that statistic accurately reflect the threat? Or could it potentially overstate their danger compared to traditional human identities, which, are still getting phished all the time?
It's a great piece of data to highlight the growing trend, but it's important to see it in context, not as an either-or. The 80% figure really emphasizes the explosive growth of machine identities and their increasing role in modern infrastructure. However, you're right, traditional human-centric attacks, like phishing or social engineering, are still massively prevalent and effective. I see it as demonstrating that while we've invested heavily in securing human identities, the non-human realm has been neglected, and attackers are now naturally gravitating there. It means we need to expand our focus, not abandon the old one.
So, it's about addressing a newly recognized, rapidly expanding risk area, rather than saying human threats are suddenly irrelevant. That clarifies it a lot. Itzik Alvis, the CEO of Entro, put it perfectly. Bringing reasoning layers explaining not just what was exposed, but why and how. It sets a new standard, and, for any organization moving towards a zero-trust architecture, whether it's for humans or machines, this is golden. It helps converge human and machine identities under one comprehensive, adaptive shield. It's future-proofing, really.
It truly is. It's an enormous step forward. Think about what Deputy CISO Anthony Scarf said, and this really resonated with me. This solution takes NHIs from being the least understood to the most managed space. That's the power of bringing AI-driven context to this complex, often ignored problem. It's about understanding what's truly happening on your network through the lens of all your identities, not just the human ones.
That's a powerful statement. Mark, this really paints a picture of a more intelligent, proactive, and less chaotic cybersecurity future. My brain is officially buzzing with the possibilities of what this kind of tech could mean for organizations. Thanks for breaking down Entro's fascinating new Gen AI engine.
Anytime, Jenny. It's exciting stuff. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on this space and how this technology evolves. Perhaps we'll even do a follow-up down the line. For now, that's all for this episode. And hey, to our listeners, which do you believe poses a bigger cybersecurity risk today? Non-human identities, like machines and APIs, or traditional human identities? Let us know on social media.
Oh, good question. I'm curious to see what everyone thinks. And that wraps up another episode of the podcast. We appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, stay curious and stay secure.